Today we are going to be talking about something called the FFMPEG. It's a tool, a very useful tool that should be a part of production for every major YouTube creator and such. It's useful, but there is not. It's a console-based application, and GUI-based wrappers for it aren't that great, as far as the ones that I've checked. It's also a bit hard to get it working, but it's not that hard actually. You just need to get to either this or this site, which has pre-compiled libraries for it, or binary files. I think I'm using this one. If I get the full version, I'm using the biggest one in any case, which has the biggest range of features. Once you get it working, it usually is installed into the Windows folder itself, so you can call it from the CMD, from the command line interface. You can actually see it in my Windows folder. I'm going to show it off. It's located right here. FFMPEG, FFplay, and FFPro. Each one does something else. I don't really care. I'm using this one for the most part to do any tasks. And if you see, if I just going to run it, it's not going to do anything because it's a console-based application. To do anything with it, let's see. Do I have the same that I have at work? No, it doesn't seem to. So how do you exactly use these files? Well, what I do is that I have a folder specifically made for bat files, which are the batch command lines for Windows. You can see them. We can see them here. Let's show their names. For example, this one changes the MP4 container to an MKV container without re-encoding the streams inside. So what this means is that it's not going to use CPU, and it's going to be rather quick because if you're going to do this on an SSD, because it's going to be as fast as the SSD can read and write. Let's check it up. Word wrap, please. Here we can see the usage. It's going to call FFMPEG, which doesn't have to have a path if it's located in the Windows folder. This is a parameter that means input. This is the file that I have previously used it on. This is the input MP4 file. I'm here telling it to. This is a parameter for codec. But and one important thing that I completely failed to say, and I should have said that before. You don't have to figure this out yourself. What you are supposed to is to find it on the internet, someone who already wrote all of this, and just edit it to your liking. Just for example, changing this to whatever the name of your file is, and here what you want the output to be named as, and then just run it. I'm just explaining what some of these can get really complicated and unreadable even by me, and you might need actual programming skills to make some of these, or to even change some of these. This one is pretty straightforward. Here we have a parameter of codec, the audio codec. It will copy the audio codec, which means it's not going to do anything. It will not re-encode it. And the same with the video codec. It will just copy the codec and will not re-encode the stream, the video stream. And the final parameter for calling the exe file, just to do this, by the way, it's going to be the same. And the final one is the output file name. What you shouldn't do is you shouldn't have Unicode special signs and such. It can screw up sometimes, I think. I don't remember. Also, this is on 3 times on 3 different files. And there is going to be a pause, because if you do not have the pause here, it's just going to close the window even if this fails. And if this fails, you want to see a message why it failed. If you don't have this, you won't see it. You won't see the failure message. Some codecs cannot, for example, this doesn't state what codec is going to be used, and if this file contains a codec for its audio or video stream or anything that cannot be put into an MKV container, and it's going to fail. So this can easily fail. No, I'm not going to be safe. I have a bunch of these. Some of them are more insane than others. There's some upscaling. Some of them don't actually work. If you want any of this, I can send them to you. Vegas input. This is going to be in a later episode. You can see this is insanity at this point. This is one of that I use very frequently, but that's also going to be showcased in a completely different tutorial for, in this case, using Handbrake, the Handbrake application to render videos directly from a project made in Vegas Studio Pro while editing. This one, let's see the three variations. Here we have the M2T variation, normal variation, and MP4. So let's check out what this one does, for example. This one, that's exactly something I would like to show off. So this one is basically a very basic block of code at this point. This is a for loop, which means for this is a variable for a name of the file in a wildcard AVI. Do something for each file that is an AVI file in the same folder. Do whatever is in the brackets here. So it will go through all the AVI files in a folder, and then it will do what these brackets contain. Echo the file name, which means it will write down the file name into the console itself, so you can see what's happening. Then it will call FFMPEG. It will input the file, the name of the file, and because FFMPEG is called in the context of the folder, it doesn't need to have a path, I think. VN, I don't remember what's VN. Audio codec, copy, and map the audio as the first stream. Oh, this is something I always have to check. The map parameter is something I always have to read up on the internet, because I always forget how exactly this works. And it will it will take the first audio stream, I think. I'm not sure. It might be switching them up. In any case, what this does is will rip two audio tracks from an AV file in the same folder as this bat file is run from, and it will, for each of them, for me at least when I'm recording, they have two audio streams, and it will rip them up into two different MP4 files that just contain them. Nothing else. I do this for backup reasons. I just want to have them backed up like this for my own personal reasons. It will name them. By the way, if you use a variable in a Windows scripting environment like this, while issuing it as a string, which is what this does, is a string of text, it will determine the variable here. So this will be converted to the name of the file. So the resulting file name will be the original file name. This sign I just forgot how it's called in English. And audio, and 0 and 1. And it will pause so I can check if there's something bad happening. Is there anything else I could check out? Company picture and audio. This is something that I've done rather recently. I can basically make a video just by combining an audio stream and just a single picture. I'll make the picture into a video. This is how that one works. Make it more readable. Okay, it's still quite unreadable. It will input a BMP file in this case. It will input an audio file. It will set up the codec video. This is the video codec library. Tune still image. Well, setting up to another still image makes sense if you're inputting a still image. And a codec copiers shortest. I don't know what this means. VF, I don't remember what it is. Scale. It will scale the image to this, and this is the output output file name that will be done, which all of this will be outputted into. As you can see, this can be quite useful because a lot of what this the FFMPEG can do cannot be done with conventional applications with the amount of granularity that's not available. The one that I use the most is probably this one, Win7 batch combining audio and video, which just combines an audio and video stream into one file without re-encoding anything. So if I'm recording this on an SSD drive, it's pretty much, it can process gigabytes of files in seconds, which is quite useful instead of re-rendering and losing quality, because if you re-render too many times, you're losing quality in any case. With this, you are not. So here I'm just going to take this this MP3 file, which is named in a quite retarded way, because if I'm batch rendering MP3 files in Vegas Pro Studio in Vegas Studio Pro, it names them like this, the name of the project, and the rest of this is auto-generated. Then the output from Handbrake, and it will combine it and produce this file, mapping it like this. This is how I use it the most. This is what I use for the most. Another interesting erase volume. This, I presume, will re-encode the files, so this will require some CPU power to do. At the first line here, this unreadable thing means that it will use an Unicode UTF-8. Well, I will have to explain what UTF and ASCII, Unicode and ASCII means. ASCII, not ASCII. Was it ASCII? No, it was ANSI. ANSI was how text was encoded in old operating systems like Windows 98. Eventually everything was changed to Unicode, and a lot of things use UTF-8, but the system, the command line, still uses the old ANSI as default. So if you have Unicode symbols, which mean emojis and such, in the name of the files, you wouldn't be able to call it with it as parameters without doing this first. And also it needs to be saved as UTF-8 in this case, and not ANSI, which is the default. This will enable the command line to work as UTF-8 instead of the default ancient ANSI. So this is what it does. You need, if you want to, you should Google up what UTF-8 means, and ANSI, ANSI, for each file in the folder that is a WAV file. Do this. Write down the file name and raise the volume by 50% in this case. I could already set this to 2 and 0 to have it as twice as loud, and it will, yeah, it will output it into this specific folder. This means raised volume test, and it will name them as the original file name v2.wave. This is one of the many things you can do. I should probably call at least one thing here to show off how this works. Let me find something I could do with this. I just managed to find something I could do, so I can show you how to use it rather easily once you get the grip. If you pretty much have to figure it out once, and that's it. And usually it goes like this. You just need to do something. You Google up with the FFMPEG, and usually you will. It's a very well used application, and pretty much everything that could have been done with it was done with it. So here we have a creating video source folder, which is my source folder for these videos, and these are my previous videos that I recorded. They are 35 gigabytes in size. So we have the AV files with the FICV codec. You can tell it from looking at this, but I just know, so that's about it. You cannot really check. I think there is a way to check. Nope, there isn't. So there are AV files which were recorded by mirrorless action, and here we have the MP4 files which were recorded by Bandicam. The AV files were also converted to M2T. The way this works I will show in a later video, to be easily edited in Vegas Studio Pro, which is an editing application for videos. And once these ones once these ones are edited and rendered into final renders and put onto YouTube, I'm going to delete them. What this means is I'm going to also upload them to YouTube, but YouTube will always take only the first audio stream. So the second one would be lost, and if I found out that I need something because I forgot something or anything, I would not be able to get that back. So what I will do is that I'm going to rip all the audio files, the audio streams from the Bandicam recorded files and the mirrorless action recorded files. To do that, no, this is not the right folder. No, this is not the right folder either. Oh no. I figured out why I cannot find the right folder is because I closed it. So I need to go here and find the Batyaki folder, which are my BAT files. Ripping both audio tracks into standalone files. We have which one does it do? It will do the MKV files, but it doesn't do it automatically. That kind of sucks. But this one seems to do the trick. Yep. These ones will do the AVI files. We don't want to do this with the AVI files because the audio stream codec in the AVI files is not going to be converted into MP4 properly. So we are going to use the ones from the M2T file. This is insane to pronounce. No, this is not it either. Oh, I haven't opened it before. I just looked at the wrong spot. These files, which are the ones that, as I have previously said, were converted from AVI to M2T, to be then later imported into Vegas Studio Pro. So we are going to grab this one, and we're going to also need the MP4 file, the one that converts MP4 files, which were the ones recorded by Bandicam. I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them into the same folders. I don't have to deal with paths. Easy enough. And it's in my info folder. here and creating video sources. Here we go. I'm going to put them here, and I'm going to start calling them. And let's see what's going to happen. It could fail horribly. Let's see if we can deal with it if that happens. These are SFK files. Don't mind them. That's something that's going to be important for a Sony Vegas episode later. There's a lot of interconnectivity within these videos, unfortunately for me. It makes it a bit harder to do them. So, which one should we do the first? So let's do the M2T files. It's insanely hard to pronounce for some reason, at least for me. So let's try running it, and if it works, it seems to be working. It's doing stuff. It's doing stuff, and it's done. It was easy, right? Well, it wasn't re-encoding files. It was just copying the already recorded audio streams into standalone files. So it was as fast as my HDD, my hard disk speed. This the J partition that's not on an SSD, so this was fast, but it wasn't on an SSD. Let's check out what was happening. What's happening here? So let's try out. Yeah, it goes like it goes. Yeah. It goes to the creating video source folder. This is basically the start. It's in a loop. So it goes through this folder. It echoes the name of the file that it found. No. Did I call the MP4 one? By mistake, I might have. Let's see. Yeah, did I really call the wrong one? I might have. I wanted to do, yeah, I called the MP4. I wanted to call this one first. Well, it doesn't really matter, so. What it did, it echoed into the console the name of the file that was going to be ripped, that had its audio contents ripped off, and then it copied them into the audio 0 and audio 1 file. This is just a default message. You can see that I have a full build which was rendered to the Git. It seems to be a quite giant def. It seems I do have a old version. I should probably update. That could be. Input data 1.45. You can see some details. This is what's being called. All the parameters is being called with the mpeg. There should be an .exe file, which is in my Windows folder, as I have shown previously. This is a bit, as you can see, it's a bit insane. And these are some libraries it's loaded. Here is the metadata for the loaded MP4 file. The major brand, minor version, compatible brands, creation time, encoder. The original encoder was Bandicam. A Bandicam 1, GDI, NVIDIA, and events. Here you can see the duration, start, bitrate, all this nifty stuff, and video handler, metadata streams, and here we have the output, what's going to be used as an output, the audio 0, MP4. The encoder is a Lathe F58.64.100. I mean, it's not quite that readable as it should be, but it can't be right if you just read whatever it's saying. So it's going to have one stream, audio stream, that's an AAC, Advanced Audio Codec, MP4A, at 48 kilohertz. Stereo FLTP 182 kilobytes per second as the bitrate, which is the default one. What is AAC? An 182 kilobytes per second for an AAC codec is, I think, better or the same, I'm not completely sure, as 320 kilobytes per second for an MP3 codec. Just saying. Let's see. It's also going to tell you the progress, unless, like in this case, you just pretty much delete immediately. This is the progress line. Also it's telling us that we can press the Q button to stop, or the question mark button on the keyboard for help. Here is the size. It did write it up once. That's 30 minutes. With the bitrate and how quick it is. It was so quick it needed to write down an exponential scientific value for the speed. That's kinda interesting. I never saw this one before. Okay, I didn't know it could do something like this. Fine, and it did it for all the files. So press any key to continue. There were no errors. You can see at the end we have an MP4 file that has been made from an original MP4 file. But this one, you can see, this one has just 1.5 megabytes because it just contains the 2 audio streams and not the video stream. The video stream has not been used for the creation of these. So they are extremely small, as you can see, and I can just burn them to a DVD, or in my case I'm using Blu-rays. Which is quite efficient, because as you can see that these are. Let's check out how big it's going to be if we are going to do the M2T files as well. These ones take some time. Okay, the first one just did, and you can see at the last line we can see the progress, how it's going through the duration of the file. I hope this is going to be readable on the video. The second minute, third minute, fourth minute, with the speed of 22x, 22 times. I don't know what. I don't really have to care. You don't have to know. You don't have to know a lot of the things. I mean. This is insane. I mean, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I don't really want to even know what this means. But you don't have to. For the most part, there is a lot you don't have to. It's also telling us the source is mpeg 2 video file, and this is the color space it has. There's a TV color space. That shouldn't be right. Going to check that later. Is that true? It's taking a long time, but those are some big files that were recorded. I used Myuu section for anything that can be recorded via Myuu section, and I only use Bandicam to record how to use Myuu section. Because I cannot really record how to use Myuu section while recording via Myuu section. So there are going to be a lot more stuff. Well, we can do other things in the meantime. You can see we now have a lot more files. And it's not quite bigger, but since all the other files were 35 gigabytes and we are only at 300 megabytes currently, that's decent. You can see it working its way. I can probably play a file or two just to show up that it actually did work. Because why not? MP4 IC. I'm not sure if this is going to be heard on the recording because it does not use an audio device that's actually being recorded. Could I do something about that? Maybe, maybe not. Let me check. Presets. I haven't done anything in here. Output range. No, I don't really care. I've done it like once, like a year ago. I don't remember how to get there. Let me pause the video. I'm going to check out in my own spare time. Here we go. I found it in view. I think there was options in view, which was a bit insane. And here we go to output, and I can see the USB PNP sound device, which is a sound device that I use only only as an output for my headphones. That's not recorded. So let's select something else. Let's select default wave, and by pressing OK now, let me reopen it. Welcome to yet another of my videos on how to. And you should be able to hear me talking in the original video. In this case, we are going to look at Bandicam, not to be missed. And each file, each of the two files has its own single audio stream. So that's about it. So I'm going to. I hope I have recorded it properly. Let me go to options which are in the view. That's not something I've ever seen before. And let's put it back the way it was before. So USB PNP sound device. Okay. I don't know if it was hot or not. I might have done a big mistake somewhere among the line, but I have checked it and it works. So these files are indeed the ripped files. So we have now used it in some manner or in some way. And just as another note, a lot of applications actually use FFMPEG internally. Handbrake, which is what I use to render finer versions with, actually is a forked version of FFMPEG originally. FFMPEG can read, which means decompress, decode and encode a great variety of files. So you could use it for conversions too, and there are a wide variety of parameters, but you have to read through the documentation to use it, which is quite a disadvantage to use instead of using some kind of way where you could just see what it does, what are the maximum and minimum values, and it can be a bit cumbersome. So what I do, I'm just making bat files and I'm putting my bat files into one folder that then, as I have shown, I just copy them into the folder I need to use them, then run them, then I'm finished. I don't really, for a lot of them I don't have to even change them even a little bit, so I don't really have to care. So I only have to figure things once. I figured some of these years ago and haven't touched them since. That's about it for this specific video, and the next video should be on how to use FFMPEG to import, to create files that will be easily editable by editing software.